Glenn, I'm going to start with you because I asked this question. It's not just a question on my mind. It's a question on everybody's mind who is not a lawyer and doesn't play one on TV. Why hasn't Donald Trump been indicted on something yet? I could watch half a season of Law and Order, even SVU, and I could figure out that if you have so many conspiracies, you've attempted to intimidate people who are testifying against you. You have been caught on the phone trying to intimidate secretaries of state. How has this man not been indicted on anything at this point? Explain this to me, Glenn, like I'm 9 years old.
Jason, I wish I had a compelling explanation for why we've seen Donald Trump commit crime after crime in the harsh light of day. And, Donald Trump, I think it's a fair observation, has got to be the most investigated and least prosecuted man in our nation's history. I mean, here we are, 18 months down the road from watching with our own eyes Donald Trump incite a violent attack on the Capitol, lying to his foot soldiers to gin them up, get them angry, and then tell them, if you don't go up the street to that building where those people are certifying the win of my political opponent and stop them, fight like hell to stop them, you won't have a country anymore. And yet there has been zero accountability. Lawlessness begets lawlessness. And Donald Trump has gotten away with everything and then some. And if Merrick Garland is really as concerned with the legitimacy and the reputation of the Department of Justice as I believe he is, he had better start having his federal prosecutors indict at least some of the command structure of the insurrection, not just the foot soldiers, not just the people that Donald Trump duped into believing their vote was stolen from them, because absent accountability for Donald Trump for his crimes, the 2024 nominee for the presidency will be entitled to do all of it again with impunity, and I don't think we can survive another go-round like that.
Tim, I want to focus a little bit about what Cassidy Hutchinson said and how it was responded to and sort of what we've seen in the media over the last 24 to 48 hours. So she says, hey, look, I heard firsthand accounts that the president, he knew people were armed. He's basically saying, I want to march into the Capitol with my hands up in the air, waving like I just don't care. And then she talked about the sort of assault in the car. And immediately the right-wing media ecosystem is like, it's a lie, it's not confirmed. And then it gets confirmed. The question I have for you, Tim, is when the public hears these kinds of stories, when regular people hear these kinds of stories, not media folks, regular voters, the generic Ohio diner person, or personally I like to say Alpharetta, Georgia diner person, when they hear that the former president lunged at somebody in a car, is that the kind of thing that does it diminish turnout? Does it gain interest? What's the impact of some of these revelations on regular voters as they're seeing it spill out across their screens throughout these hearings?
I'm not really prepared yet to say what the impact on voters will be. I think the real importance in these hearings are its impact on Merrick Garland and the extent to which it pushes the Department of Justice to take the necessary action of indicting Donald Trump and his cohorts for staging a coup and for a number of other crimes. And I think the issue of whether or not Donald Trump is a lunger or whether or not there was ketchup on one of the walls in the White House is largely irrelevant. I think what's more important from her testimony are a few salient things that Donald Trump knew days before the January 6th insurrection, that it was possibly going to become violent, that the morning of the insurrection, he was aware that people were entering the ellipse armed, and he actively tried to prevent them from being turned away and disarmed. Third, he wanted to march with them to the Capitol. And what no one disputes when he got into that car, regardless of whether or not he lunged, was that he was angry and that he wanted to be taken to the Capitol, regardless of whatever else happened in that car. So her testimony has directly connected him, I think, to crimes, and not as a bystander, but as an engineer, as someone orchestrating the act. And that's what's dynamic about her testimony. I think Fox and Trump's other enablers and supporters are trying to turn the discussion now on the drama inside the presidential motorcade because it's distracting, because it actually gets away from this other very simple and clear narrative that demonstrates that Donald Trump is a criminal and that he's a threat to democracy and that he tried to stage a coup. I think there are other issues that are going to focus voters this fall. I think the Supreme Court decision on abortion, I think gun violence and inflation are going to be more important to voters than anything that happened inside that limousine.
Glenn, I want to close with this because I think this is really key. We've all talked about the idea of, there's so many different crimes. I mean, this is just sort of this insane Joker-esque crime spree that we've been seeing from Donald Trump for the last 6 or 7 years, including his new sort of media venture. We're now hearing that federal prosecutors have put an inquiry into Truth Social. What do you think could be the impact of that? Again, could we see Donald Trump get taken down for something if Merrick Garland is too feckless or disinterested or cautious to do something about the insurrection? Could Trump get taken down because he's corrupt when how he was managing his media company or some other resource?
In theory, yes, we can have the academic discussion again about will this take down Donald Trump? And of course, there's also the wire fraud that has been exposed in recent days to the tune of $250 million that he bilked his supporters out of with a fictitious election defense fund. That actually sounds like a pretty readily provable crime. But here's the thing that I want to watch closely right now, Jason. It's the witness tampering. Because you know what? Federal prosecutors do exactly nothing quickly in the grand jury. They investigate exhaustively, thoroughly. Typically, that's a good thing, except when public safety or our democracy hangs in the balance. Then you have to step it up and meet the urgency of the moment. We now have witness tampering. Witness tampering it strikes right at the heart of the integrity of investigations, congressional and criminal. And when we see witnesses being tampered, what we need to do is get an FBI agent to interview the witness, put the information in an affidavit, apply for an arrest warrant, and move out to put a stop to it in real time. That's what I'm going to be watching for to see if DOJ responds in a timely manner.